Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to have a look at count, countif and countifs functions today in Excel. I'm going to show you these three very simple functions that have different ways of using them. Let's get into it.
Okay, so we're going to have a look at the count function today. The count function has a lot of different uses, and we'll just go through 5 use cases where this might be useful in your day-to-day business. Now, we have a set of data here, and that includes some inventory data, an item name, department, the color, the country, and the price. What we want to do is have a look at the different uses for each of the count functions. So the first one we will cover is the count. Now, the count function is used to count a range of numbers. It will not work on text. What we want to do is we want to see how many total prices we have in this data set. So let's just start. So we do equals count, open bracket, and we just highlight the data that we want to count, close the bracket, and press enter. So that gives us 13 data ranges here, 13 sets of data, and it's counted 13. Now, just to prove the theory, we will type in count and we will highlight these 2 ranges, and this should return us back 13 as well. So even though they're 26 cells, it's only returning us 13 because the count function only counts the range of numbers. Now, if you want to count the range of text or the number of cells that contain text, we use the function COUNTA. So if we just do COUNTA and then we count the range of text. So let's select the number of products here. So we can see that there are 13 different cells here. Now, COUNTA does not differentiate if there are any duplicates, and this is why we would need then the other functions. So if we do the same thing when we count the range and change across to a column where there are duplicates, let's have a look at the number here, it still shows us 13. So just Control Z to go back to the original range. Now, what we want to do in the COUNTIF is to give it a certain criteria, or we want it to count only if it meets a certain criteria. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at if the color is yellow in the range here. Now, ignore the yellow colored boxes here. This is going to be used for the COUNTBLANK function in the later stage. So let's do a COUNTIF. Now, what we're saying in this is count. If we count the range, it needs to be in this range here, and we need to add in quote marks here and type in yellow and close the quote marks. So it's going to now count only if the cell contains a value of text which is yellow. So if we press that, we can have a look. Yellow is here and here. So there are only 2 cells that have a yellow inside it. COUNTIFs. Now, the COUNTIF will only work with 1 criteria. If you want to have 2 different criterias, or even more than 2 different criterias, this can work with as many criteria as you need. You need to use the function called the COUNTIFs. And this is how the COUNTIF works. So COUNTIF works in this way, COUNTIFs. So the criteria range is, let's go over to the department. So the department needs to be a fruit. And then we need to put a comma and then go to the second range. And the second range needs to be red. So let's type that in. Close. There we go. So we have a fruit that could be red, and if we just type in, if we see the mistake here, we have only fruit. So if we type in fruits, because we have the column here that says fruits, we have 1. So we have only 1 fruit which is here that is red, and this fruit which is yellow will not be counted here. Now, count blank is something that you could use if you want to see how many blank cells there are in any range. So if we highlight this we can have a look simply that we have one blank cell over here. Now, similarly, if we just remove this, for example, we will have two blank cells here. We can move the function across. If we just move the function across, we have two blank cells. So there you have it, 5 different ways how to use the count function. Hope that you found this useful, and I hope that you can use this in your day-to-day Excel sheets. See you next time.